the teachers, the students that are realizing that a system built to divide, impoverish, and destroy us cannot stand if we do it. All right? It's kind of basic mathematics.
If you hear me, could you feel me, could you free me? Wonder if I made a difference or made a difference. Bump that, we are the difference. We ain't got no code to decipher. Brother, I would never call you trife. You my brother, though they knife and fork our meals, then cop the silly feels. Yep, it's slimy, kinda grimy, miscalculated the timing. But you can plagiarize something in disguise and think we have no eyes to see something real as we. This is seriously who we be. See, this here is true indeed, the real deal, thoroughbred, like collard greens and cornbread. Can't recite what's never said, purpose keeps us fed. Real man, this is grand A, hope fed. But still, you are my brother, above you there's no other. Blood or something other, more like what the blood covers. Man, no matter what they say, we good over this way. This is positivity in the making, helping others to break through. Without breaking, without breaking, without breaking, without breaking. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
What's up, everybody?
It's Thursday, so you know what that means.
It's Brother Empowerment Day.
So now, if this is your first time watching, Brother Empowerment is a show that's designed to encourage our brothers and their families. So this is not one of those bashing shows, but it is an opportunity to have healthy dialogue, you know, hopefully take something away from the conversation that will positively uplift, encourage, or even encourage a new behavior pattern or mindset. So you guys who are out there, we definitely say welcome. I guess y'all can see we do have a guest. Mm-hmm. But before we go to our special guest, bro, how was your week?
So the week has actually been pretty intense, man. It's been a lot of, I got back on my workout schedule. I had fallen off for a couple of days, so I got back on with that and back on with the eating right. So that has been, you know, I got to get back on track with that. But as usual, you know, just been make sure I stay active, been having, you know, a lot of good conversations and tearing up my journal and stuff like that. So tearing up in a good way, because I'm like writing, stuff like that. Just
so you're like,
yeah, I'm not tearing up pages on my journal. Yeah, so, but no, just having a lot of good conversations, spending time with myself. Today's kind of a heavy day. Today is the anniversary of my grandmother's death, the 1-year anniversary. She died today, last year, you know, right before Christmas. And, you know, she, you know, lost her battle with cancer. And, you know, she's a better place. It still, you know, stings, you know. So I woke up today and my mom and my Uncle Marcus and Uncle Antoine, you know, had made some tributes to her on their pages, which I looked at. And, you know, it got me a little bit just because we do miss her. Christmas was my grandmother's favorite time. You know what I'm saying? We always got together during Christmas, and, you know, it was just a fun time. She was just a fun person. So that, you know, kind of, you know, it was kind of hit me hard. But other than that, bro, it's been a really good week, and, you know, really just been staying active and making sure that 2020 goes out on a good bang, not a bad bang. So what about you know what I mean? So yeah, I realized how that. Yeah, hey, sorry, it just kind of. So, anyways, how was your
made a shit end on a good bang?
How was your week, bro?
No.
He can't stop. That's it. Catch you later, Jay.
Man, look, I gotta turn the heat off now. But no, this week has actually been somewhat amazing. And it's been amazing because, you know, we've been busy with Love is a Parable, just constantly doing a lot of great things. So I am excited about the great things that are happening. We started off this week Sunday with a bang because we did the pre-launch to the Junior Advocate Program. That was great. We heard back. We had about 11 or 12 kids, all of them mixed demographics across the spectrum, which was great. And all of them had something positive and something great to say about it. We gave out some free books and stuff like that. So that was like incredible. And then the rest of the week started off great. More people are learning about Love is a Parable. Yep. And if I'm honest, like being kind of like a not 100% full-time entrepreneur is kind of draining. So I look forward to the day where it's 100% doing Love is a Parable.
Yeah. Me too.
Yes, brother. There are a few great things that were happening. We got the launch that took place that we said that started on Sunday. And then we have the Love Advocacy Training class. It does start, a new class does start on January 25th of 2021. So those who have been asking when we're going to do the next class, this is your opportunity to get signed up there. Okay, now we're going to turn it over to our guest. We got a new guest, bro.
Yep. Go ahead, tell him who you are, Mr. Icon, or sorry, he didn't like Mr. Tell him who you are, Iconic Bond.
This is our show. He can't find you.
I don't make the rules. Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. My name is Iconic. My name's Ahmed, but I go by Iconic Bond. I'm a hip hop artist out of North Carolina. Amongst other things, I'm a father, husband, community servant, I guess is the best way that I'd like to put that. And yeah, appreciate y'all having me.
Oh, you missed something. You missed something.
What'd I miss?
You're a member of an elite organization.
An elite
organization that only few are able to make it in.
Am I supposed to tell people about this elite organization?
Yeah, I mean, Royal Blue Skies, Pure White Stars.
That elite organization.
I'm just saying.
Talking about something else. And I am a Sigma man. That is true.
Yes.
Okay.
See, now the trifecta of this man has come forth.
There you go. See, my mind went to a different elite organization.
See, I don't know how many elite organizations you're a part of. I'm only part of one. I'm not as special as you just yet.
Hey, man, you're more special.
So, tell them who we got on with us.
Let's see. Oh yeah. By the way, if we don't get you in the shout out comments, we know that you're here. So we have Rashia's here.
Hey, Rashia.
Got my man Deshaun Nettles. What's up, Deshaun, bro?
Hey.
We're gonna be getting you on soon too. We'll tap in with you
again.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Tara's on. Hey sis.
Hey sis. That's your sister, man. You gotta tell her hey. That's your sister. Tell her hey. Say hey, Tara.
Hey, Tara.
Okay.
We got Joey on.
Hey, Joey.
So we got my sister Lita is on. Hey.
My wife.
Yep.
Hey, boo.
We got our resident fact checker correspondent Bruce Leroy is on.
Okay.
Let's see. We got Shalane on.
Okay.
We got Ricky Phillips is on, and then we got Big A Adrian Ragland is on.
Adrian, you didn't comment, so I can't even show them your beautiful picture. We got Sean that's on.
And from YouTube land, what's up, Sean?
What's going on? Karen is on.
Hey, Karen.
There you go. Bruce is on. Okay, we about to get this thing started. Oh, tomorrow we're doing a presentation out in Rockingham County, 2-day retreat. So I'm excited about that because we're spreading our wings and going to be doing great things in Rockingham County soon, coming to Burlington and Winston-Salem. So Greensboro, we actually are excited about all of those great things. So guys, great things continue to happen. So let's get into it. We do have a couple of things that we do want to make sure that we know that it's just going on. One of them is researchers have found that 1 in 6 men have experienced sexual abuse or assault, whether in childhood or as adults. Rape of males, a CDC study found that in the US, 1 in 71 men have been raped or suffered an attempt within their lifetime. Men die by suicide 3.5 5 times more than women. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner. So, Mr. Iconic Bond, you got anything you want to say about that?
Ooh, mental health, man. Mental health is an important thing. Like, not even just like the rape factor, like the suicide numbers, that one kind of scary.
Yeah.
You know? And as men, sometimes we feel like we have to hold everything in and we don't take care of ourselves, and we taking care of everybody else, like the family, you taking care of the family. You don't really put time aside for your own mental health and take care of your mental health. If you can't take care of your own self, you can't really take care of nobody else.
Yeah.
So what do you do to take care of your mental health?
The gym, music, those have been my 2 outlets, really. You know.
Did you say music?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let me tell you this. I've been following this dude. I've been following him longer than I knew him.
That is true.
I can't tell you where I found his music from. And it was so bad. We were at an event together, and I was like, why do you look so familiar?
Yeah.
I know it's my frat brother, but still, I was like, why do you look so familiar, man? And so he's doing work in the community and doing his music. I put his link tree in there. It's in the ticker down at the bottom, guys. Check him out. Support this man, because the music hit hard. And you know, the artists that we've been bringing, y'all been loving.
Yeah.
So y'all been loving. This is another one that y'all are gonna love. I'm just saying. Jay don't like
music.
No lie. No reason to lie. But yeah, man, he got a whole bunch of bangers. New album just came out.
Congratulations.
Day one.
Who's the other guy? Who's the other guy on this day one?
Bad Logic. I've known this brother since I was in high school, junior in high school. He's been, you know, one of my best friends since then. And that's been like 20 years now. We've known each other. It's funny because over the years we've always talked about doing something, not just music, just doing something together. And then finally he said, man, I'm getting FL Studio today. I said, okay, well, I guess I'm buying a mic then. And we just started, and it just started like that. But yeah, it's good, very good friend of mine. Known him for a long time, so he's the producer.
Okay.
He produced all the tracks on that album. So yeah.
Yeah, guys, so make sure you get over there to theiconicbond.com and check him out and check out his music. And also with the link tree, you can see how to connect with him on all social media platforms and where he is in the music connections as well, okay? Well, now that we got that out of the way, we're going to have our discussion, because that's what a lot of people come here for, is for us to engage in that discussion. Oh, we got some new people came on. What's going on, Harold?
What's up, Harold, man? What's going on?
Harold is a local celebrity. He's been featured in the newspaper again, because he's not just a survivor, he's a victor. He was one of the ones that in that first wave that was impacted by COVID. And not only is he living to tell his story, he's empowering other people. So, Harold, we're glad that you're with us, brother. We love you.
This, man.
So, let's get into it. First topic. What it means to be emotional but not moody. Who's going to jump on that one?
I like that. Let me jump on that one.
Okay. Have it, brother.
Because I've been married 10 years, and I remember when I first met my wife. She comes from her family shows emotion a lot. Like, you know, when they're happy, you know they're happy. You know, when they're sad, you know they're sad. But they're not moody in the sense that, you know, it overtakes their personality per se. So I was the opposite. I was a very moody person, but I showed no emotion when I first got married. You know, she'd buy me a present for my birthday, and I'll be like, oh, thank you. You know, and that was it. I just didn't, you know, it wasn't something that wasn't me. You know, but when I was angry or when I was sad, like, my attitude changed. So I think the difference between emotional and moody is that, like, you know, you could show your emotion, but once you let it take over your personality, or, you know, your state of mind at that point, and you know, your actions start to change, and the way you treat people start to change. I feel like that's the difference between emotional and moody, if that makes sense. I don't even know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You gonna take it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, you know, emotional, you know, it has a negative connotation, and it has, you know, frequently it has a negative connotation. You know, it just means that you're, you know, acting out, and some people equate it to acting irrationally, and quite often it's related to, you know, how quote unquote women act. You know, women are emotional, illogical, this and that. But really, being emotional really just boils down to really experiencing your emotions to their fullest extent, and really just embracing that. You know, being an emotional person really just means that you experience your emotion, you don't stifle them. That's all that is. It's not negative. It just is. You experience your emotions. And I believe that moody is much like you said, Ahmed, is that you let it overtake you, and you let it affect the people around you in a negative way. You know, when, you know, often when I think of moody people, I think of people who are, you know, who may have something going on, but, you know, their moods change at the drop of a dime, or if they're feeling a certain type of way, if they're mad or they're sad, they let it affect everybody. They lash out at everybody. So, you know, or it affects their communication with people. Moody people might somehow just, you know, they might shut everybody off, or cut everybody off, or shut everybody out, and then, you know, at the drop of a dime. So yeah, I think there's a big difference between the two, and yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, you kind of took all of it. I don't even know where to go in that. It's just emotional. I think emotional is not just your emotions, but it's a level of empathy associated with that too. Yeah. So you're in tune with your emotions, but you have a level of empathy. Whereas moody, I think, does come from a more where you're governed by your emotions. And you tend to lean more towards a selfish slant. Okay. If it doesn't go my way, or I'm not happy with the outcome, I tend to be more moody, meaning I go with whichever way I feel that benefits me, type thing.
Oh yeah, I love that, bro. I love it.
Yeah.
Look, we got DJ 9 Times on. He's another local DJ that's working in conjunction with my brother, DJ Magic Mike, out in the CSRA. Now we need more live.
I'm gonna have to connect with those DJs.
Yeah, you should, man. My dad, my brother, my younger brother, and my baby brother are all DJs. Word. Yeah. Sean said, this is a great conversation. That explanation on emotions and moody blew my mind. Going to chew on that. And then Tara said, emotion seems honest. Moody is a hint of avoidance to emotion. Okay. I like the way you all are expressing the difference.
Yeah.
Hey, Sister Talk. Hey, Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie.
She out in Texas, down in the heart of Texas.
Oh, my wife is from Texas.
She was on last week. What'd you say, bro?
I said, my wife is from Texas. She gonna love that.
Oh, well, let her know. And then, listen, our facts correspondent said, emotional to me means putting your feelings into something. Moody is all over and selfish. See?
Yep.
I agree with that.
Especially that selfish part.
Yeah.
Yep. You was about to say something though before.
I wanted to touch on a point that Brother CJ was saying. CG, sorry. Was saying, yeah, I'm gonna start using it. I'm gonna use it. He said no. You said nobody use it, so I'm gonna use that.
Oh, I was being funny. But I like CJ a whole lot better. Hey, Junior.
Yeah.
Okay. I know so many CJs, so it came to me. But he touched on. He said you know, sometimes the word emotional is portrayed as like a womanly, you know, a feminine aspect, right? Which is kind of goes back to what we were talking about before we started the whole mental health. I mean, if you're raised, because listen, I was raised, my father, and I'm gonna get a little personal with y'all, but I remember like my father told me men don't cry.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself, growing up with that kind of mentality, I mean, you're gonna be moody.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be emotional because one day it's gonna snap, and one day it's gonna, it's gonna be a problem. So, and portraying being emotional as something feminine, that's leading to some mental health problems even in men, because we need to be able to let out that emotion and express it somehow.
Yeah. And I just want to piggyback on that a little bit. Stephanie say Virgos are moody. Facts. Leos are crazy. What? Oh, you're Leo? I forgot. My bad. See what I got to deal with? If I come up missing, you know who did it. Play this footage. So I don't have a problem with them associating anything to femininity or a woman type trait.
Yeah.
My bigger problem is, why do we assume that makes you weaker because it's associated to that? So it's just one of those things that I definitely wanted to clarify. Like, nobody cares if it's who is related to, in my opinion, about the gender, because I don't believe that it makes you weaker. Right. Because what I'm finding out more and more is that we have traditions. Everybody has traditions. Everybody has customs. But what seems to be the problem is when those traditions are displaced. Meaning, I have traditions. There are certain things that we do in Augusta, Georgia, that people don't do up in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I may do something that's deemed inappropriate here that may not be inappropriate in Augusta, Georgia. And I think we forget that, and we start labeling people without taking into account origin of behaviors. So I just wanted to clarify that. Don't leave me, Kim.
What's up, Kim?
Hey, Kim. Kim is a Virgo, a moody one. Society discourages men to express their emotions. That's what Stephanie also works in the mental health capacity as well.
Yeah.
Kim is a Virgo. Kim Hines, I thought she was a Leo, just like me.
I mean, a Leo.
I was like, wait a minute.
Well, either way, it was signs I didn't care about. Oh, I mean.
Hey, we'll see y'all next week.
We'll
see y'all next week. We're not gonna have this.
He said he's still questioning that God complex comment that CT made about.
Well,
you talking about them Sagittarius?
Yeah. Sagittarius.
My point is, how you gonna debo a show from the comment section?
From something that was a comment that was made weeks ago.
How you gonna be bullying people from a? And you talking about you ain't got a God complex? You gonna debo a whole show from the comments? See, I'm gonna have the people come for you. Tara, get them, Tara, get them. Okay, so here go another good one. When you forgive your parents or family, does that mean that you have to now establish a new relationship with them? Is it okay to love them from a distance?
I will jump on that one. So
now it's layers to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna tackle that because that's three different things, or three different layers. So actually two. So
you gonna tackle all the layers?
Yes.
Okay.
One of them.
You about to make a cake then?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
You about to bake. So
all right.
No, when you forgive your friends, when your parents and your family or whatnot, notice that does not mean that the relationship has to be born anew or anything like that. That's really how the relationship goes. Really is up to you and what's best for you. If you feel that it's best for you to not continue to even have a relationship with them, no matter if they are a member of your blood family or if they are a family that you choose, aka a friend, as my brother Jay says all the time. But it doesn't matter if they're your parents, family, or whatever. If you deem that relationship, that connection does not, even after you have addressed the stuff, you both, all parties involved have addressed things that have altered that relationship. If you deem that it's not, if you deem that it's not good for your emotional and mental health, and just good for you, period, to continue that connection, then that's what you choose, and that's why you move in that. That was a lot, but Like, yeah, you sever that if you so choose. Like, if that's what's best for you, then do that. There's nothing wrong with that, because if you choose to continue that, especially if they continue with the damaging behavior or whatever that's going on, all you're doing is really hurting yourself to please someone else. And they don't even appreciate it. As far as it's okay to love them from a distance, it's always okay. You can love someone and not want to fool with them. There's no rule or something that says because you love someone that you have to, like them or even want to be around them. There's nothing that says that. Nothing that says that.
I would just say, like, the assumption that's made about this statement is that a child automatically loves their parent.
Right.
Or that a parent automatically loves their child when that's not the case. I mean, it's reality. So a lot of times love is not even of the equation.
Right.
There are several parents that resent their children. And there are several children who resent their parents for whatever reason, because one, love was never of the equation. I think a lot of times we come with that expectation that just because something is traditional, that makes it normal, which means it's assumed. Yes, in most traditional settings, there is some type of bond between parents and children. And just because you see it on a regular basis, the assumption that it should happen, I think, is what get a lot of people in more trouble, because we don't even know how to talk or have that conversation about the fact that it may not even be love present. And that's something that needs to be established.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about forgive versus afar, then you got to establish, am I really forgiving them or I'm really just avoiding them? Because those are two different things, because if you truly forgive, you can be in the presence of anybody and it doesn't affect you. That's true. A lot of people don't want to have that conversation, but if there is still an emotional attachment, there is some unresolved issue there that somebody is not paying attention to. If I can't be in your presence, that means I still have something that I care about, something of value that affects me when I'm in your presence. And I don't think that those conversations happen enough. And then when we talk about establishing a new relationship, has a relationship even been established to begin with? Yeah. So these are things that you kind of talk through. And I do agree with my brother. You find these things out as the conversation progresses. Now, granted, there are some people that you just don't need to be around, period. And I get that. And I recognize that. But sometimes I think that a lot of us use convenience as an excuse versus really having those tough and difficult conversations that could be a betterment for both parties' lives. Okay, Jay, what are you talking about? My mom kicked me out when I was in the 11th grade. That probably was one of the most damaging things that ever happened to me, because I already had a great dad. Like, my dad was great up until he got a divorce from my mom at 6, when I was 6 years old. And he was like deuces to the whole family. So, like, when people talk about deadbeat dads, it'd be different if he was one from the beginning, but he introduced his role as an amazing father. And then he was like, well, if I can't have your mama, I don't want none of y'all offsprings. Forget y'all. So that was one thing. And then having a volatile relationship, because me and my mom didn't get along. None of that. It was horrible. And then being kicked out, what do you do when your identity is lost? Meaning the people you get your image from, the people that are supposed to do all of these things, what do you do? Right? So even though me and my mom reconciled in my 20s, we really didn't have our first conversation until I was 36 about it. So 36 years old is when I sat down and had a conversation, and that's when it hit me. I'm grown. What's going to happen? She's going to send me to a room. I got a whole house. What's going to happen? Why can't I have this whole conversation with my mom? And so when I told her the effects of her putting me out and what that did to me, that was actually the first time I've ever heard my mom just say, you know what? I apologize. I was doing the best that I thought that I could do as a mother. And she came from that place of, well, I did the best that I could do, but guess what? There were consequences to the best that you could do. They damaged me. But because of that, we were able to have an honest conversation. And I can honestly say, anybody who sees me with my mom, me and my mom are tight. Because of that conversation, we grew extremely close, because there's nothing I really can't tell her or talk to her about. Ooh, we got a lot of comments. We're going to get your piece, bro. But we got a lot of comments. I'm going to go all the way back. Woo! Kimberly said, thank you, Cordell. Boo, Leo, son.
Wow.
A little bit. Okay. Most of them.
Not at all?
98% of them,
wow.
Except 2 of y'all. Absolutely, Miss Joy. She said, you can forgive but love them from afar. Kimberly said, great question. Stephanie said, protect your peace. DJ 9 Times said, my opinion, it depends on which family member we talking about. And then Miss Joy said that sometimes you have to forgive and move on. There are times when you will never have the relationship you want or need with your parent because you have no say-so in how the relationship goes. Bruce Leroy said, I grew up emotionally detached because of how I was raised. I still deal with that now. But as far as my blood family is concerned, it is better to love them from afar. He said, punt them. Stephanie said, forgiveness does not mean you have to be a punching bag.
Correct.
Agreed. Karen said, I think that we hold obligations over love, which is why we have a problem understanding that it's okay to love people from a distance. Sometimes we love people, we just don't like them. And when we don't like people, we should not be around them. Joy said, facts. Sometimes abandonment feels worse than someone never being there. Yeah. And then DJ 9 Times said, powerful conversation. What you was about to say, bro?
Whew, I don't.
Yeah,
that's a tough one. That's a tough one for me. So I've never experienced it the way that you personally have experienced it. You know, I have been blessed. My parents have been together the whole time, so I'm coming at it from a different perspective. So I didn't have it from that perspective, but there's definitely been moments in my life where we just didn't get along, especially me and my father. You know, I'm a mama's boy, so there was no way that I wasn't going to get along with my mom eventually, right? Like, she might get mad at me, whatever, but with my father, it was tough, and there was a long period of time where we just weren't, you know, I'm not going to say that I didn't love him. I feel like love has always been there, but I just didn't want to be around him. I didn't want him, you know, to have a say in my life and how I did things in my life. But it wasn't same thing like you said, Jay. It wasn't until I grew up a little bit, you know, and became an adult to where we started having those conversations that we should have had a long time ago. But at the same time, I feel like having those conversations as an adult are definitely different than having those conversations as when you were younger, right? If I was still living under my father's roof, that conversation would have been, I don't think it would have, you know, concluded the way that it concluded after I had moved out and became independent and became a man, you know, and had my own family and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's this statement, this question does assume that I guess love was there initially. And for me, from my perspective, that is an accurate assumption that love was there and it was an assumed part of that relationship. I would say, you know, can you really love somebody from your family? Can you claim to love somebody from a distance? Like, is that kind of like what you were saying initially? Like, if you have to keep your distance, then you don't want to be around this person. So how can you, I guess, how can you love somebody and not want to be around that person?
I guess I would equate it to, well, let's answer this question first because it was something you said and I want to answer this question first. Like, why is it hard to digest the fact that you may not have loved your dad and you grew to love him?
Because I loved my dad before and I loved him after, and then I just didn't like him. That's what I'm saying. So initially it started with love, right? It started with love initially. So I don't feel like the love actually disappeared. I just feel like I just went through a stage in my life where I just didn't like the guy.
Right. No, I was saying like, because some people struggle with the fact that what if you didn't? What if you just didn't really love your parent? Like, it's like,
and that's what I'm saying. So I don't see it from that perspective, because for me it's different. So I can't speak to it from that perspective. That's why, you know, I have a hard time with that question, because if you assume like, yeah, that love was never there initially, I mean, if I try to think about it, people outside of my family, if I never had love for you initially and I don't want to be around you, there's not going to be any new relationship. There's not. Why would I even want to have a relationship with you from afar if there was never love at all?
Well, I think that there is a societal pressure that envelopes love, and it takes that slant. And so like, which also hinders us from being 100% honest. Like, I remember growing up, there were some family members that I just didn't like. And my mom I remember, and well, we all know the story. Like, I felt like I didn't belong in this family. Like, where did they come from? And that's when I found out, about 14 years old, my mom actually knew her biological father. And there's a whole family out there that act like Jay, you know? And so immediately when I met them at 14 years old, it was instant. It was no question. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whereas some people, I struggled. I said I loved them, but I really didn't. It was family that you were forced to be around.
Yeah.
But when I met my granddaddy side of the family, I'm like, you people are amazing. Y'all are a whole bunch of J's. So that I knew, like, once I made that connection, my whole world made sense as well. Mm-hmm. And so that was something that was a little bit different. And so there are certain people, like, sometimes we say because I feel like I grew up emotionally attached to once I was kicked out. And so sometimes my wife has to help me with aligning my emotions in certain areas. But there are some people I have an instant connection with, and some I don't.
Yeah.
The love is just as strong as someone I've known my entire life. And it's okay. And that's when I started to really heal from some of the supposed hurt, because I was like, I ain't really loved him to begin with. Oh, so it really didn't hurt me because I don't care. You know, so it's like you learn to let some of that go. And I think that we don't even know how to be honest with the fact of like, don't really have that feeling for them.
Yeah.
I don't really care about them that way. Let me see. Stephanie said, you can love with respect, acceptance, kind thoughts. You don't have to physically be in the same space. Sean said, I can love family and friends, even if they have some destructive behaviors. Mm-hmm. I just need firm boundaries for when people decide to act out. My tolerance for nonsense is low. Come on, somebody. Yeah. Hey, Late.
Hey, Kim.
Hey, Late. Hey, Kim. And they said, when I was younger, I do believe I had more fear and respect for some of my family than I had love for them. It was not until I got older and experienced life that I understood the different degrees of love.
I like that.
Woo. To Sean's point too about boundaries, that's one of the things I believe is involved in that love from afar, from a distance conversation, is establishing boundaries, especially when you're dealing with a family member or I would say a close person, or a parent that continuously, as Rick James used to say as Charlie Murphy used to say about Rick James on the Chappelle Show, it's a habitual line stepper. When you deal with someone who is a habitual line stepper, you have to establish some boundaries. And that boundary may be, I don't need to be in the same room as you, ever.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I think is the main point in that love from a distance, is that you love that person, want the best for them and everything like that. But the relationship as it in that form that it is at that time just is not conducive for you guys to have healthy interactions. So you set up the boundaries. Mm-hmm. And that's protect yourself. Yeah. And I guess maybe them too, depending on what kind of reaction you have when your boundaries are pushed.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, if you don't love you, it ain't about loving nobody first. If you don't love you,
right.
you don't know love for anybody else.
That's true.
You don't. And so boundaries are put in place to protect you. So if someone is going to put you in danger and you allow yourself to be in danger, you don't love you and they don't love you either. Because if I love you, I love what you love, and I'm not going to put you in danger. So like when people talk about boundaries, if you love me, you already know my boundaries. If you love me, you already know how to speak to me. If you love me, you know how already to talk to me. That's how I can tell when some people, I'm like, you don't love me.
Yeah.
Because love explains things that nobody else can explain.
Yeah.
And we try to look at love as an emotion, but it's a lot of things. Love is also spiritual. Love is a way to communicate. Because sometimes you don't even know what words to say, and love is present to fill in the gap for you. Yeah. But if you have to really establish boundaries, then it's not love there. And a lot of people don't realize with some of these parent relationships, it's not love, it's a dictatorship. And some parents even look at children as property. You my child, you gonna do what I say. No, I'm a person. I don't even say that to my children. I don't. You my child, do blah, blah, blah. It has been times my child has just straight up said, I just don't like you. I'm like, I don't like you either. I don't want to go on this trip with you. I don't want to go on this trip with you either. Please believe me. I'd be like, you the fun police. We be trying to have fun and you come and just snatch it. So, but because of that, we do have a relationship where she can talk to me. And anybody who met my children know they don't have a problem with a filter. Yeah. But the point is that why don't we just call relationships what they are? Whether it's mama, dad, auntie, it doesn't matter. Call the relationship what they are. Start living in truth, not your truth, but the truth. Establish what truth is and go from there. Stop hurting yourself over that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me see. Miss Joy said, I love my brother and I will always will, but his mistreatment of himself and others will not allow me to talk or be around him. So I keep my distance.
Yeah.
Love, appreciation, respect. As you get older, you learn the difference.
Yeah, because those are all three separate things.
Yep. If you love, did she just bust out in a brownstone? I'm about to ban you from this live. Anything you want to add? I will say this only because this type of dynamic is so volatile and also so sensitive for a lot of people. Listen, you don't deserve abuse no matter who it is from. If you want to accept abuse from somebody random off the street, don't accept abuse from any loved one. It doesn't matter what the dynamic of that relationship is. Abuse is abuse. The other thing is when we talk about protecting peace, the best way to protect peace is to make sure that you're making decisions that you're at peace with. So if you say that I'm loving somebody from afar, but you're not at peace, then that is telling you that something else needs to be done and you have to figure out what that is. So when we talk about protecting peace, every decision that you make, you should be at peace with whatever that outcome will be. And one of the things, and this may help somebody, the day that I became a father, I realized that fatherhood was a choice. So I respected the decision that my father decided to no longer be a father. See, we assume somebody wants to be a parent because they bring children in this world, and that's not true. So once I respected my dad for that decision, I let go of years of hurt. Like people think I'm cold because of it. It's like, no, I respect him. But when my dad tried to come back into my life, which he did, almost 10 years after I released him, he came back after he was sick. So you only came back because you were near death. But if you was living your best life, you would have never came back. So stay gone.
Yeah.
And it's okay, guys. That's how you protect your peace. Like if he was to exit today and transition on, I'm at peace. And it's okay because I respect him enough to say, okay, you no longer wanted to be a father. It's okay.
Yeah.
Let's be good fathers. Let's be good fathers.
You said what now?
I said, let's be good fathers.
I agree. I don't know what you say. It sure does. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Joy. What we talking about? Oh, Stephanie's so sweet. Down in the heart of Texas. Okay. Here go another one. Woo. This might take us the whole time. Older women, young boys. Is it rape or rites of passage? You got your sugar mama. Sugar mama.
If we're talking about
cane sugar. Good old molasses.
I promise we're not making light of this topic.
We're not.
So
you got a molasses mama.
If we're talking about, just in like in the sense of we're talking about with men and girls, if we're talking about someone who is who's underage, not just by the law, but also from a mental and emotional standpoint, and a much older person, that's right.
Yeah.
You know, now that in at least here in America, there's quite a few people who don't view it as that. You know, we can all see the teachers that are sexually assaulting students, you know, in women teachers sexually assaulting their male students and doing certain things, and there's quite a few people who don't have a problem with it, and they see it as, and I believe it was actually Stephanie who's on here, this was her topic, I believe, and so people see it as a certain rite of passage. That's no problem with that, man. He's getting a tutor. When it's like, no, and there has been scientific data that has proven that that kind of relationship damages young men.
Yeah.
And it has ripple effects that some men never recover from.
Yeah.
So it's definitely rape. There's no, just like if you flip flop, it'd be the same. You know, there's no wiggle room with that. That is manipulation. It's abuse. It's rape. Mm-hmm. It doesn't sound. It doesn't get the same connotation because, like Brother Jay said before, you know, things when it comes to women, certain things are looked at differently. There's certain double standards or certain moving of the goalpost. But no, you know, if we're going to keep it strictly from a factual and objective lens, it's rape. You know. So yeah.
Yes.
Before you respond, bro, Bruce Lewis said a lot of people are infatuated with the idea of having kids and not being mothers and fathers.
Mm-hmm.
That's so true.
Sean said that's crazy, wise, and spiritual. I struggle to get that level of zen. This fool don't talk about R. Shelley.
Oh, wow. Man, you know what?
I got you.
I've never heard of that.
That is like an original.
That is clever.
I feel bad for even laughing at this and how amazing, but I'm also impressed at how amazing this is at the same time.
Yeah, bro. Wow. Yeah. Okay. That's one of the things you're just like,
You just nod your head.
Yes.
Just nod your head.
That's what I want to be like. See, who gave him the mic?
Yeah, like.
So what you was about to say, bro, about this?
I was just gonna agree. Well, what CG was saying. I'm gonna get it right. I promise.
What Junior was saying.
No, chill out.
Hey, Junior, chill out.
Chill out.
But I mean, if the older woman is clearly taking advantage of this younger man because of the age and the immaturity, then it can't be anything but rape. There's no other. Yeah. There's no. I don't see any other way to. I feel like that it's the younger boys that try to tell themselves sometimes that it's the rite of passage. You know, I feel like it comes from the societal, like, I don't know, some kind of push, like, yeah, you know, you get yourself, that's not, I mean, if you're taken advantage of because you're immature, emotionally immature, mentally immature, that's a problem. That's not like a badge that you're not getting this badge saying, oh, you know, I did something cool or I did something good. Like,
Yeah, and I would say this too, and I think that goes along with it because how we stigmatized certain events or certain terms, like being a victim is considered weak, being taken advantage of is considered weak. Even when you think about rape, minds shift to male on female type thing. So I think that a lot of that, and I think that even if you enjoyed the experience, a lot of people confuse that because, I mean, if we're honest, we deal with a lot of men who come and talk to us and talk about those experiences of being introduced to sex prematurely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Having those encounters with different family members where they thought that they were enjoying it and they thought that they liked it, but it caused some other types of damages later.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I'm not into too old.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree that some things change when you get older. Like, you know, like being 30 and 40 is different. You know what I'm saying? Then of course being 20 and 10.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's like we got to put things in perspective. But when people start going where you're in an age where that could be apparent,
Mm-hmm.
that's alarming to me, and that sends a message to me that that is no longer a mutual sexual relationship or intimate relationship.
Yeah.
It is a seeking and a longing for something more.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Either the older wants to have that connection either with their offspring or with an offspring, or the younger is longing to have that connection and they're filling in the gap because we substitute a lot.
Yeah.
And that's realize if I don't get it from here, I'll find a way to get it in another realm or another spectrum. So it's like those type of things I struggle with. Yes, even though my shirt say unbiased, I'm biased when the ages start getting a little too old where you can parent someone.
Mm-hmm.
I admit it. I know. I'm sorry.
And unfortunately, that those are the people that end up getting taken advantage of, are the ones that are longing for that relationship, and they're longing for that relationship because there's something wrong in their own personal, right? When we're talking about the younger men that might not have, there's a gap in their relationship, maybe with their family, their parents, something like that. They never had somebody older look up to something. There's something wrong, you know, in their personal, and unfortunately, they're the ones that end up getting taken advantage of in that situation.
I agree.
Yeah.
Stephanie said, older cousins fondling younger boy cousins, teacher and student, the rapper who paid the prostitute, Bootsy.
Yep, Lil Bootsy.
All that.
Yeah.
Leroy Jenkins done did a Leroy Jenkins. He's put that Usher.
Yeah.
It's very sad that society is willing to be okay with pedophiles when the roles are reversed. We as men have to call it what it is and stop the hypocrisy. Sorry about the joke. I couldn't keep that to myself. Don't be sorry. I just didn't know what to do. Older female.
She had a duplication. She fixed the typo, but she typed it all over.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Whew. That's heavy.
Yeah.
So one of the things is, guys, first of all, we provided the statistics earlier that showed you, but those are only the ones that were reported. I was molested at 11 years old and I didn't report mine. I know several men, and I have several friends who also have been molested and or raped, and they didn't report that either. And that's because of the stigmatization associated with being a victim, or the assumption that one will do those same things to others. So no, those things are not true. You can't accept them as being true. And if you need to talk to someone, definitely reach out. There are several different people. We're not healthcare professionals, but we can connect you to. Clarify, we're not licensed healthcare professionals in the state of North Carolina. However, we can connect you to licensed professionals that can get you the help that you need from a legal standpoint, but also we can give you alternatives or point you into directions that will give you what you need. But what's most important is don't suffer in silence any longer, and don't think that you have to go through any of this by yourself. You are not alone. And even though it is felt that you have been dealing with this alone, you're not alone. It is something that has been told to you by either a societal standard or you told yourself as a way of empowering and strengthening you to get through. But I want you to know you're not alone. There are several who have been through what you have been through, and there are several who are living very successful lives once they confronted the one spot, the one blemish that occurred by somebody else's actions, not their own.
Right.
Okay. So as we get older, say 30 plus, what age gap is too wide? I'm not fooling with her.
Yeah, I just want to know how.
I'm trying. I'm not fooling with her.
You're like 30 years old, like 30-something years old. Like, what are we talking about? I don't even get that question.
Look, Joy, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say asking that question,
April, hey April, she was the other guest that was on with Stephanie
April.
last week. Hey April, go ahead and post the job with us. No, it is not your fault.
Correct.
Right, it is not your fault.
Yeah, we can probably get through the last one.
Get through the last one in 5 minutes?
Yep. We can do it.
Come on.
I feel like I'm being bullied. Holiday expectations. How far are we supposed to extend ourselves when it comes to gift giving? Immediate family, cousins. Is there an age limit?
Me, myself, unless we're in unless we are connected in a romantic relationship and or you are a child, you're pretty much on your own. The one exception to that was, rest her soul, was my grandmother. I bought my grandmother gifts pretty much every year because that's grandma. But other than that, and then sometimes I would get my mom something too on the off chance, just depending. But for the most part, unless you're a kid,
how you gonna change your whole statement?
I mean, that's well, grandma's all the time. But mom sometimes.
The whole family. The whole family's in there.
No, but yeah, but
the whole family's an exception. Some of the time.
No, it's just them too. But yeah, for the most part, man, I like to say that if you're grown, you're on your own. CG does look out for the kids. I got a nephew or a couple nephews. But outside of that, nope. Can't.
Man, I feel like if it's gonna be a burden on you, don't do it.
Yeah, Jay just corrected me. I have nieces too. I'm sorry. I messed around with my nieces. Hope they not pay attention.
He owed them so much money. You might open up a bank account, just slide it on over there.
But yeah, if they grown, most chances are most time they on their own. But CG does, love the kids.
I just say do whatever you feel right. If it don't feel right, don't do it.
Yeah.
Like I just don't feel like giving you a gift.
Yeah, and like you said, Ahmed, if it's gonna put you in a bad spot, just don't do it. Extending yourself is, we going into dangerous territory. We talk about extending yourself, you'll move to do it. It's not gonna put you in a bad spot. Then go ahead, like my brother said. But if not, then they gotta understand.
That's when it's okay to love them from afar.
There you go. There it is.
During the holiday season, I'm setting up boundaries.
That's the boundary. Sorry.
See y'all in February. Okay, this is the time, bro, where we do what is called positive brother shout out. Right? Oh my goodness, they all were saying something. Everybody get $3 candles from IKEA.
Hey, it's a gift.
At your age.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's another good one. That's another good one. You should not go broke giving gifts.
Nah, definitely not.
She said yes. I don't know if she said yes to, but yeah. Positive brother shout out, bro. This is an opportunity to give brothers a shout out who normally don't get it, or you think that are just doing some great things in the family, in the community, connected to you, and you just want to give them some encouragement. Who you got, bro?
Oh, I was supposed to have a list?
Nah, this is right off the cuff, man.
See, some
right
people
off the cuff, man.
read my itinerary.
I gotta give number one to my dad, man. My dad he doesn't get enough thanks from me or my siblings or anybody, and he does too much. I don't know how he does it. He takes care of the family here. He takes care of his family overseas. He takes care of the community. He does a lot. So love you for that. My brother-in-laws, they taking care of my sisters. Thank you. Thank you for being good husbands and good fathers, and really just in general to all the good fathers out there, man. Fatherhood is a massive responsibility, and if you're doing it well, thank you for doing it well.
For sure, definitely.
Oh, the Tiny
Lister died. Was Debo on Friday?
Oh,
man,
got it.
Oh, wow.
That's his real name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. We back. And last point of advice, Joyce say, if Nate got to get you out of bind, don't do it.
That's a good on that one.
Positive brother shout out. So first and foremost, always got to shout out my brother Jay here. He's wearing a super fly shirt. This is a new one that we have out. So go to the website and go cop that. It's really nice color and everything. But yeah, so that's definitely got shout out my brother Jay. We've been doing this for 2 years now officially. We hit 2 years actually 2 weeks ago, I believe. So yeah, this has been an amazing journey that continues to get better and better. We have literally transformed since we've been doing this. we both look completely different than when we first started. I
still look amazing, though, guys. Still look amazing.
So it's just been a really dope journey. It's been hella fun. So definitely got to shout out my brother Jake. I love him to life, man. And he's just a really dope individual. So also gotta shout out you, man, for coming on, man. Like we love to connect with different brothers and really just expand the network. So we definitely appreciate you. I definitely appreciate you coming on, man, because it's our first time meeting. So that's definitely.
I wasn't blowing a kiss to you, by the way. I was blowing a kiss to Stephanie. Just want to clarify, Stephanie.
Okay, it's all love, right?
He's like, I received it.
So yeah, but yeah, definitely shout out to you, bro. Now shout out to all the brothers in the live, Bruce, Deshaun, Ricky, Sean. Shout out to all your brothers, man. Just because we love y'all support, we need y'all support because we all doing this thing together. We're not, we're not out here trying to be solo successes. We are building together and coming together to really create the change that we want to see, to be the change that we want to see. And like I've been saying for the past, I don't know, probably a month or two at this point, the last two things, shout out to the brothers that are having the tough conversations in their family, in their circle, whatever, because those tough conversations really, provide dividends in your personal, and for you personally and in your network. I know it's hard to have those conversations, whether it be you mending a relationship, whether it be you releasing someone, or whether you just, you talk about something that has been really tough for you to really talk about for however long. I applaud brothers for having those conversations and doing that because that's hard work, but it's work that's worth it. Because as brothers, we have to acknowledge that we are worth it. So do the work because not only are you worth it, but you're worth the work. And my last thing is shout out to the brothers that are in the community, really just stepping, man, and not doing a whole bunch of talking. Really just doing things and not wanting to be in front of a camera or get on social media saying, hey, I did this or I'm doing this. No, shout out to brothers like Kerwin that are just out there. And you don't see Kerwin saying, yeah, man, I'm out here doing this. No, Kerwin will show you what he's done after he's done it already. He's gonna build something, then show you, hey, look, I did that, but I'm on to the next thing. I just want to show you that I am out here doing this and I want to connect with you. So shout out to brothers like him that are really just out here stepping, man, and doing more doing and less talking. So yeah.
Yeah, he basically covered it all. So, brother, I definitely do appreciate you, and I thank you for everything, man. Yeah. You came a long way, bro. I remember when, bro, you got to get him to talk. Now that joke will be like, oh, so, brother, I'm so proud of your growth, man, and I thank you for everything, man. You started out modeling and acting, and that you're a dancer. He about to be a rapper too. Have you seen his dance moves?
No, I'm gonna have to put you on a video.
True. So, but bro, I'm proud of your growth. I'm proud of everything that you are doing and becoming. All of my brothers that have truly supported brother empowerment. There's some of you who have been with us from the very beginning. I thank you guys. My brother, Mr. Iconic Bond, thank you for being on. Thank you, brother. We work together in another organization, the Holly Springs Interfaith Council, where he's running a different dynamic alliance. What I say, Faith Council? Yeah, the alliance. Close enough. But anyway, we're on something together that I was deboed on by Mark to be on again. But it still is a great opportunity to bring people together. We always are looking for that. And I just thank him for being that voice and not being afraid, to speak his piece and making sure that people understand and how he advocates for so many people. Guys, you need to go check out his music. Even if, you don't have the means to purchase anything right now, share it, like, follow, do whatever needs to be done to show him that you appreciate his music, because he's pretty dope. And you know I like to bring you dopeness, and I know I believe in supporting dopeness. No lames over this way. So definitely go out and do that. Always my older brother Daryl, Vincent, Rodney, Tremel, Mike, Alex. I thank all of you brothers and junior. I love all of you. Thank you guys for being there for us. And so Mr. Iconic Bond, we want you to just stay on. You're going to stay in the anti-room while we end this out. But like we tell people every night, if you feel like you have nobody else in this world that cares about you or love you, you just met 3 people who truly love you. Y'all guys have a wonderful night.
No matter what they say, we good over this way. This is positivity in the making of brothers to break through.